Yeah, my name is Gudju Gudju. My family group is Gimuy Walibara Yidinji people. Yidinji is our nation for this country here that's now is known as Cairns, traditionally known as Gimuy, which is the name of the slippery blue fig tree. But where we are shooting now is my country. And my tribe's been here for thousands of years as well. Yeah, we were here when the sea levels were lower, higher, and lower again, because it's changed quite a few times. But when it was lower, our people used to go further out to sea, and we had camps, and further out past what is now known as the Great Barrier Reef, and it was a cliff's edge previously, but
so what we now call the continental shelf.
Continental shelf,
Yep.
yeah, past there. So our people lived out there at one stage as well and roamed all that country. We still do have stories that relate to that area. We call Munyami and Wunyami, that particular area, but it's now submerged. Yeah, we do. We have a lot of stories about that country, and especially we still have a lot of our artifactual remains and everything out there as well, so a lot of it is submerged. But during that shift or the ice age, now our people started to move further into the coast here. But previously, when the sea was further out, this area was also fairly high, and we did have snow here one stage. So with the life out there on the seas as well, we still retain the knowledge of that country, and a lot of the seasonal plants and animals, they all work together in regards to what happens on land, lets us know what's happening out to sea. Yeah, well, if you go further down south, we've got quite a few tribal groups. You've got Girigan, the Girame mob down there, and Jitterbal mob, Juru mob, which is around the Cardwell area. Then you got Mamu mob around Innisfail, and then after Mamu coming back up this way, you got Yidinji, but you got Bindabara, and then you got Gulgibara mob as well, and Wanjre Maje, and then you get to my clan group, which is part of Yidinji mob as well. So Gimuy Walibara Yidinji, and then as you keep going up, then you got Jabagai, and further up you got Guka Yalanji and Guka Imati, which is further up. But if you're going to go west, then
So Guka Images right up Hopevale,
further
Cooktown
up
way.
around Hopevale, Cooktown, yeah. And then if you keep going further than that, then you got Kanju mob as well, and then you start hitting along the coastline with people like the Umpala mob and around Lockhart River. And if you go further in, then you got Wickmunkin, so around Arakoon. And then as you go further up in, you start getting along the mob, Kararag mob, and that up towards the Torres Straits.
So there were a very large number of different groups up and down the coast along the Great Barrier Reef.
Yeah, and we're all coastal tribes, so along here and going further down south. But at one stage, when the water level was down, we could walk across to the Torres Straits, and but now we can't. We have to swim. But traditionally our mob shared culture. We also shared stories, and we also shared resources between us and the people further up the Cape. Our concerns are that we got stories about our people in relation to that reef and the reason why it's there, and to protect it. But they also act as a home for the fish life, the turtles, all the marine life, and their conception sites as well to a lot of different sea mammals. And if that's gone, we we just don't lose the reef. And I think a lot of people need to keep their mind on what we do lose. You know, we lose animals such as the pufferfish, which a lot of people don't realize is very significant. You know, turtles, they actually eat coral as well. And, you know, you've got all of the fish that are in there, jellyfish as well. You know, and they all make up that ecosystems there. You got a lot of the crab life that'll actually die out if the reef isn't there. And it's a natural food chain that if they're gone from that area, then you've got the bigger animals that feed on them won't be there as well. Well, we'd like to, you know, like my people would like to manage it, like to really self-manage it ourselves. The way we managed the reef previously, I know now they've got these green zones and that they put up and they manage, but we had, you know, more localized natural green zones that were sites that were protected. We wouldn't go there, they were sacred sites. And they were sites because of a number of reasons. We didn't allow people to go there because they destroy something of significance to us. But most of them are, whether it's a conception site for a lot of the marine mammals, we need to manage it in a way where everything's sustainable. And I think a lot of the people who manage the reef now do not know how things exist together. And we needed to manage everything together in a life cycle, because otherwise if one dies, the other one dies as well.
Yep.
They're all friends in the reef. We are sovereign people to this country, and no other, the English when they came here, they aren't sovereign to this continent. They're only sovereign to their soil over in England, not to this soil here. And we are pushing our sovereignty case on this country because we have our laws that existed here for thousands of years. We have all of our customs that are here. And what we want to do through sovereignty is make people aware of what they actually have to do if they live here on this country, and that's protecting it, not destroying it. You know, we're here for a reason, you know, and we're only part of this environment because, you know, this environment allows us to be a part of it. It doesn't need us. You know, we're nothing strategic in the scheme of things on this planet. But we don't want no major ports. We don't want any coal seam gas drilling on our country because, you know, what you take out destroys what is already there. With sovereignty, we want to bring it back because our culture and our law are on this land. It tells us how to look after the land, how to look after the trees, how to look after the waters, how to look after the reef. That's all part of our, you know, our law on this country. The law that they brought over on the ship is a law from that country over there. It was never meant to be on this country. It was always for the country where it came from. And as sovereign people, we want to bring that, and we want people to recognize it, the people who are living here now, to recognize that those laws still exist. And if you abide by those laws that govern the laws of this land in regards to how the environment plays one in all of us being here, then this country would be better looked after and better maintained. We've learnt a lot, I think, from just being here for those thousands of years, because the knowledge that I have is not just only, you know, 45 years of walking around on country here. It's what I've retained is the knowledge of my father and my grandfather and their knowledge that was passed down. You know, and we know we've been here for 70,000 years. So when you equate that to generations, my people have been here for 2,550 generations on country. That's a hell of a long time. So the knowledge that was based back there is still passed on and being passed on. And so that maintaining of this land in a way in a natural state and working in together. You know, we all need to be responsible for our actions. We want to unite with all other sovereign countries around and indigenous sovereign countries around the world and globally to actually look at how we can talk to one another and trade with one another, and actually look at how we can maintain our stance on protecting the earth the way we know how to protect it.